Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James and also Brink, and we are one. So today I want to talk about some good old Steam Deck news. Yes, going back to some of the classics of actually covering the news for once. So Valve, they are going to be releasing to a new region. They also came out with a new update a couple days ago. And then also Spider-Man might have a little surprise there for the Steam Deck, and I might have gotten my email. So before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar. Now we're prepared for the news. Okay, first coming up is Valve has opened up to a new region, the Asian region, namely Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. With the statement, we are happy to announce today that Steam Deck is expanding to more regions with the help of Komodo. Steam Deck will ship later this year in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. So, pretty exciting news there. Opening up new areas is a big deal. Honestly, this is a big deal. The more we get decks into people's hands, the more support we get from both Valve and also third-party accessories, mods, whatever it is that people want to do. The more support is really a good thing for everyone, and we really need to just celebrate every time this happens. Hopefully they open up to even more regions in the future, as just more means better. It's interesting that they're working with Komodo, a third-party reseller, to fulfill this, meaning it could be that we have the Steam Deck come to stores like Best Buy, and you could walk in and just buy a Steam Deck. Now, for right now, there's no reason to share the profit, and there's so many reservations. They don't need to do that yet, but it would be nice to see it in the near future. So there's still a promise there. Now, we have worked with the team at Komodo for years and are excited to have their help as our authorized reseller of Steam Deck in these regions. Komodo has just opened reservations on their website here at steamdeck.komodo.jp. So, I mean, Komodo made it pretty much sound like it was going to be a Japanese company. It's a Japanese company reseller in the Asian region. And so... if you're in that region and you've been waiting for a Steam Deck and haven't wanted to try to go to a third-party reseller like eBay, or essentially, getting a used one, customers with reservations in these new regions will be able to order their Steam Decks starting later this year. The Komodo reservation queue is separate from the reservation queue in North America, UK, EU regions. So the timing of order emails in the currently shipping regions isn't impacted by this announcement, and I'd never expect it to do. I've been saying that for a while now. Expect regions to have different allotments and potentially even different facilities to fulfill this. So some of the parts on this on these Steam Decks could be a little different. So to finish all this off, they have an exciting little announcement where they're going to be trying to promote this at a certain show. Well, let's read into this. We're very excited to make Steam Deck available in more places around the world. Hope players in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Hong Kong will love Steam Deck as much as we do. To help introduce players to Steam Deck ahead of availability in these regions, we are working with Komodo to put together a large booth at the Tokyo Game Show, which will include a large hands-on section. Please stop by if you happen to be in town during TGS. We'd love to see you. That's really exciting. That's really good. They need to get the hands-on experience, I believe, to sell it over in the Asia. I mean, certain parts of Asia, I'm sure is going to be easy. Japan, they love their handheld gaming devices. They love it. Switch does really well. Anything Nintendo does well over there. PlayStation does well. But even the Vita did pretty decent over there. They love their stuff on the go. And if they can see how good the Steam Deck is, they might like it too. Now, my biggest concern with this is the size of it. I don't normally the handhelds we get come from Japan, right? Like the Nintendo Switch, just pretty much most of them have come from Japan in the sense of like the design. So we'll see how they how they like having a bigger device. But if they can do it, this could mean a big deal for Steam in the Asian market, because Asia is massive and Japan is a pretty big market. But if they can hit some of the other markets like Hong Kong and Taiwan, and then maybe even go more south, handhelds are a big deal there. This is a big deal and could get a lot of decks into a lot of people's hands. So I'm excited for this announcement. Now, Now let's go into the updates. I'm going to be going over the SteamOS 3.3 stable update. Some of these items have been on past beta updates, but they're finally releasing a massive stable update. This also includes the Steam client too, so don't worry. Steam client and SteamOS updates. I'm going to go over the ones that stand out to me and also that affected me. If you want to read anything additional, you can go to the URL that's in the description below and read the full update. So starting off in general, you got scheduled night mode, which they fixed multiple issues on that. It was always like I'd toggle it off and then it'd always toggle back on, and it was kind of annoying because I actually don't like using night mode. I mean, I get it. I get why people want to use it. It's awesome. But I'm glad they finally fixed it again. Like, this is the scheduled night mode is nice that it's unstable, but it's also unstable with a bunch of patches too. So night mode should work great for everyone that wants it. And now we get notifications when Steam Deck temperatures go outside the safe operating range. And this one is very nice if you're in one of those heat waves, if you're outside for too long. It's just nice to know that, hey, it's overheating. Maybe you should go inside, do something to cool it down, to even turn it off. It's not going to ruin it, because what's going to happen is your device is just going to turn off. You might lose all your progress in the game you're in. So getting this notification is a big deal for those who don't want to lose any progress if their deck is overheating and needs to be shut off to preserve its life. The next up is Xbox login window for Flight Simulator and Halo Infinite not rendering certain characters properly. This is going to help make Halo Infinite and the Flight Simulator more compatible. And there's been issues with both those games. There's been multiple issues with some Microsoft games, especially ones that were released in the past few years. So it's nice to see that there's more support coming to these games, so we can have even more good times with Halo. So that's it for the general. Keyboards. Fixed desktop mode keyboard sometimes failing to show or dismiss. This is one I run into a lot. Also the next one, fixed on-screen keyboard showing up under the Steam or quick access menu. These are the bugs where, yeah, I could usually get around them, meaning like I'd close the keyboard, open the keyboard. Oh, and if you can hear my dog barking, don't mind him. He's also excited for all these updates, so don't mind him. He's a little borker sometimes. Getting back into it. So I run into the keyboard has been kind of annoying for me over the past few months. Once again, push past it's not really that bad. I'd much rather have bugs like this than like game breaking bugs, which I haven't had too many issues with. So good to see this update in there. Then we have performance stability with fixed several crashes related to managing screenshots. I've run into that one. Fixed several crashes related to non-Steam shortcuts. Also ran into that one. Fixed some native Linux games not exiting when force quit through Steam. And then fixed Flatpak Chrome closing improperly when quit through Steam. I've had all these issues. That's why I threw them in here. They were big enough to where I ran into them. It doesn't mean that some of the other issues on these lists were not encountered by others, but this is the ones that kind of annoyed me, and I'm glad that they're fixing a lot. And I've gone back and forth between stable and beta. Definitely this needed to be fixed on stable channel, and so glad they're finally doing it. Next up is desktop mode. Firefox to be installed as a Flatpak rather than from the OS repositories to ensure timely updates. First up, Firefox was being installed with a very old version, and it had a lot of security holes and security issues with it. So it's good that they're going through Flatpak, which honestly is a great repository, a great system to install this through. And I actually wish they'd integrate more with Flatpak, but it's a great start in my opinion. Now I would like to make it so that Chrome was more integrated than Firefox, my personal opinion, but honestly, to each their own. Also updated network connections, edited on the desktop to default to system-wide, ensuring they are available in gaming mode. This is another update that once again, I've run into multiple times where I'd create a network connection on desktop mode, go into game mode, and it just wouldn't propagate over. So I love seeing that. I hate setting up Wi-Fi. There's a couple things I hate setting up. Wi-Fi and also audio pieces. And we'll get to the audio one because there's also a matching update there too. Let's go into docked mode. Added a toggle for automatic scaling of the Steam Deck user interface for external displays. They also fixed the panel staying off when disconnecting from dock shortly after resuming from sleep, and then fixed the panel backlight staying on while docked. I've witness all these. It is nice. Docked mode still has a ways to go, in my opinion, but it is getting much better. I can do a lot more screen recordings with my docked mode than before when I first got my deck. Also, that backlight and also the screen, like like when I put a game to sleep, then and I had it on the external display, like my monitor, and then I would unplug the monitor, take the deck with me, and then try to turn it back on. It just go to a black screen, and then usually I could turn it off, or turn the screen, put it into suspend mode, and then take it out of suspend mode, and it would fix it. But there's been times where I've actually had to hard reset the device in the sense of, or soft reset, or whatever you want to call it, where I actually just had to cycle it. Then the backlit issue was also kind of annoying, where I would have the external monitor working, but then it'd still show my screen being on, like with the backlit, even though nothing was on there. So I'm glad I saw that being fixed. Okay, so I've connected my Bluetooth devices in desktop mode, and then it didn't propagate over to game mode. So I'm glad to see this fix. And once again, it's like the Wi-Fi thing. I don't want to set it up multiple times. Don't want to lose that. And then also the audio issue. This is one that honestly, it's not the biggest issue until you're playing a game where you keep on suspending and going in and out of suspension, and it just, you get the crackling noise, and then you have to quit out of the game, go back in. It's kind of annoying, so I'm glad that they fixed it. It's definitely one of those bugs that it crawls up eventually and gets really annoying. So the last piece is drivers and firmware. This one's the most important one, but also the most vague in what they fixed. Updated graphics drivers with compatibility and performance fixes, updated wireless driver with fixes for Wi-Fi disconnection issue on 5G, and then updated controller firmware utilities to support future controller hardware revisions. Now, I've talked about some of this before with the controller firmware stuff, but little vague at times. These are big in the sense of anytime there's a drivers or firmware update, you also get stability. Usually you get stability and performance increases / just less crashing, right? So I love that they're continually upgrading the graphics drivers, just the drivers in general. That's a really good sign of support, long-term support and all that. So really, this update really shows that Valve is continuing to support the deck. I love it. I love that they're doing that. This is such good news for anyone that's bought a Steam Deck since day one, and it has one on reservation, because it means that, hey, this is going to be a long-term device. We're going to continue getting updates. It's going to continue to improve, and it really makes me happy to see that they're not going to just drop support for this. I never said that they were going to. It was just a concern, but they're definitely doing their fair share so far of, keeping the deck going. I mean, there's still some bugs. There's still some stuff that shouldn't have launched with bugs related. So if they stop now, they'll still be in that same camp of, you didn't do your due diligence, I think, to support your product and make sure we have a good product in the long term. But they're not really slowing down too much, so I think we're going to continue to see good updates. So with that, let's go on to the next piece of news, which is Spider-Man Remastered launches next week. If you're watching this the day of that I'm doing this, August 12th, 2022. Now, it's launching through the Steam client. And what makes this such an interesting news item is, I know I'm prolonging it, it's verified. So Insomniac Games came out and verified that, hey, this is verified on the Steam Deck. And I love that these game companies are being more proactive of making sure it's compatible on the Steam Deck. And from there, that's the easiest way to do it. It's easier for these developers to make sure the Steam Deck is compatible than it is Valve in a lot of ways. And so I like that. And I'm sure they worked with Valve on this, but it just indicates, hey, we're going to be getting a lot more new launches with verified status, and that's a really good thing for SteamOS. That means SteamOS is here to stay. I think the more and more companies support it, the more and more we're going to see SteamOS kind of take over the world on gaming, on PCs, and potentially everywhere. So love to see it. Love the future of this. And I'm going to have to try Spider-Man Remastered next week. But let's see. Let me know in the comments below. Should I try that next week on a stream? So last piece of news. I got my 512 gigabyte Steam Deck ordered. I got the email today. I got it ordered. I jumped quite a bit. I believe around 60% to 103% today alone, in since Monday. That's a pretty big deal. What that kind of confirms to me is that the ramp up's still happening. It feels like it's I don't know it now. If it would have hit the 150%, maybe I would say, oh, the true ramp up, where people that were in after Q3 that are now in Q3 are going to be seeing, the ramp up kind of thing. I think it's still rolling out. I don't know if it's just gonna be like a trigger one of these weeks where suddenly we get tons more reservations fulfilled, or if it's gonna be, they're gonna fulfill 20% more every release until they hit a certain threshold. All I got to say is it's a good sign, because I was expected to get my Steam Deck at the end of August, and I got it at the beginning of August. Very good sign for the rest of you. And I just want to say, hey, Valve, you guys are killing it. Keep it up. Don't lose focus. If you have to hire a new team to make sure the Steam Deck is being fully supported, whether it be bug fixes, whether it's making sure that games are verified and people are getting their reservations, do it. Do it. You're going to kill it. You're going to be a major company in portable gaming, and that's kind of the future, honestly, right now, of PC gaming. Like, we still have our PCs and all that, our master race kind of PCs, but we need more portable. And I feel like as energy gets more expensive too, I think people are kind of going this route, especially in Europe and other places. Like, this is going to be big for them. So thank you, Valve, once again for doing this. And I'm excited for whatever else, the Ion Neo, whatever they do, I'm excited for them. Also, one last piece of news, I'm going to be getting my Odin Pro next week. So we're going to be doing a little stream on that. I know that's a little piece of news that I threw in there. Okay. And it's not even Steam Deck related, but hey, we'll see. Maybe I'll try to slap SteamOS on it. I don't know if it'll work, though, because, architecture stuff. Okay. Let's go into comments. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of all the news today. Did I miss something? What's your favorite update coming out? And are you going to be playing Spider-Man? Did you get your email? What is it? I want to know all the good news. And with that, check out my other videos. Check out the description below. A bunch of accessories and stuff if you're getting your deck soon. And maybe pick out one of those SD cards down there. There's tons of good stuff coming. And with that, I'm out. So later. Peace out.